There's no such thing nowadays as a job for life. In our ever-changing world, we all need to keep up with new trends and technologies to make a living. In this series of videos here at Business with Joe, we'll give you the insight into what we think will be the jobs and careers of the future. Whether it's to start a business for yourself, or maybe you're looking at a long-term career, then selecting one of the following jobs could set you up on the right path. In this video, which is one of 3, I'm going to show you a number of jobs where you can plan for the future, but also start making some serious money. Before we begin, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and also hit the alert bell. Each week I'll be uploading new videos, so don't miss out on the opportunities I'll be posting in the coming weeks. So let's get going. At some point in our life, we are all asked to predict the future. Think about it. Back at school, we were asked what subjects we wanted to continue doing when we went to college or university, and then have a career in. At an early age, we all needed to predict what we wanted to do for the next 10 or 15 years. How many of us got that right? Inventors predict the future all the time, right back to Henry Ford and the Model T car, to Bill Gates and Microsoft and Apple with their smartphone. They all predicted a need and took a chance. I think we can say it paid off for those guys, okay? Being an entrepreneur is another way of trying to predict the future. What's going to sell? What's going to be fashionable? What problems will people have over the next few years that you can help solve? An entrepreneur doesn't follow. Instead, they anticipate the needs and try and beat the others to the sale. If you were to really think about it, I bet you could list a few things that will make it big in the next 5 to 10 years. Clean energy, renewable energy, nanotechnology and entertainment are just a few things that will change so much over the next decade. With digital technology and globalization, the business world is changing faster than ever. Working out which field to move into is a fast pace, and if you don't jump on it soon, it's going to pass you by. Here at Business with Joe, we've come up with a list of what we think will be the jobs to either work in or at least be part of over the next 10 years. Let us know if you agree or if you can think of any others. Number 1. Data analysis. The merger of firms is only going to increase. It wouldn't surprise me if in the next 20 years it is all owned by half a dozen mega businesses. And so, big data is just getting started, and the gathering of information has only just begun. Many companies are eager to tap into this vast new database to gather more information on their customers. Be that loyalty cards at supermarkets, filling in silly apps about what potato I am, or doing a poll to see who you'd vote for. It's about gathering data on all of us, what we like or dislike. After this info is collected, it's then about making sense of it all and gaining useful insights that can make that company more effective selling to you the next time. So not only is data collection going to be more and more important in the future, but also market research and then marketing back to the consumer will go hand in hand. You could also look at the beginning of the process. Who and how is this valuable information collected by? Could you do this? Data, I feel, will be one of the biggest fields for anyone to get into, and it will affect what we buy, sell, who we vote for, which celebrity we like, or what particular fizzy drink we like. No big company moves into a new market without doing extensive market research. Do you want to be part of that? Number 2, computer engineering. Or to put it simply, coding. It will run everything in the future. It virtually does now. If you're not sure what coding is, then here's a simple 101 basics. Think of coding like learning a new language, but instead of French or Chinese, you'll be learning binary. Binary is the language that computers talk, which in a way makes it easier to communicate, as you only need to learn one new language instead of many. There will be an increasing need for high-level computer experts that are able to write software, connect networks, and more importantly, make all these things secure. You see, once the market researchers have done their bit with regards to collecting data, it'll be up to the coding people to make sense of it and then make sure it doesn't get into their competitors' hands. All medium and large companies nowadays have their own computer department, and these people are only going to get more and more important as companies want faster networks, quicker analysis, seamless integration, and secure systems. 3. Scientific research. There will always be the need to have breakthrough ideas, and new technology will continue to generate innovations in computer, manufacturing, transportation and medicine. This means there will always be the demand for workers schooled in these fields. New and exciting areas to look into for the future are robotics, biotechnology, nanotechnology, to name just a few. Research and development always keeps moving forward, therefore it's always a good area to move into. Number 4. 3D printing. It wasn't that long ago that a 3D printer would only just fit into a small room. Now one can sit on your desktop for you to bring to life ideas to make and sell. Although 3D printing for the home can still be expensive and time consuming, this will change. But until then, you can make some good money building bespoke one-off items for your customer. I know someone who designs things for his beekeeping hobby and makes them on his own 3D printer. Whilst at the moment it takes him up to 12 hours to print these things, this will get quicker, and he has now started taking orders from people in his beekeeping group he attends. Whereas in the past developing a prototype item would take a long time and be very expensive, probably fabricated in a factory overseas, with a 3D printer this process is quicker and cheaper. 3D printing is and will in the future continue to transform our lives and has the potential to be one of the most profitable businesses you could look at. Number 5. Sell bottled air. I know this might sound odd, but people do buy bottles and canisters of bottled air. In the sports area alone, there are a few companies that sell air canisters to athletes as it increases oxygen in the blood and can boost performances. Bottled water is a £1 billion industry, so why can't pure, filtered oxygen be the same for people living in polluted areas and cities? If you can think of a way of producing and bottling quality oxygen and then market and sell it, this could be a great business to move into. Number 6. Car charging stations. The electric car market is growing day by day and is only going to get bigger, with more people becoming increasingly aware of our climate and the effect cars are having on it. The sale of hybrid and full electric vehicles is only going to keep going up. However, with this new market, there comes a problem. At the time of making this video, most full electric cars at the moment have a range of 200, maybe 250 miles. So if you're going on a long journey, you have a problem. There will be a demand for more and more charging stations, so why not tap into this growing market? Local charging points, either overnight or quick top-up stations, are going to increase. But who wants to stop at a service station for several hours whilst the car gets a top-up? I know I wouldn't. What if you could offer local stations situated where people actually want to spend some time, and then build on that network with friends and family? How great would that be? If you run a small hotel or B&B, could you offer, for an additional fee of course, charging points? One word of advice though, it is to talk to your electricity supplier, because first of all, taking an extension lead from your house to charge a car overnight might invalidate not only your house insurance but also the car's insurance. You need to think about surges, etc. that could fry a car's battery. 7. Counselling and therapy. Going off the new and modern technology theme for a bit, there will always be the need for certain types of caring careers. With people working harder and longer, mental health is just as important, if not more so, than physical health, which is why there has been an increase in demand for professionals in this field, and I don't see this stopping anytime soon. If you just look at life coaching alone, it's a vast field, so it gives you a large range to choose from. This helps coaches market their services to a specific type of clientele and gives potential customers confidence that the coach has experience and expertise helping people with their unique challenges. Some of the possible areas you could look at are business, careers advice, job searching, relationships, academic issues, spirituality, work-life balance, weight loss and general wellness. Earning a certification can go a long way towards gaining the trust of potential clients. Credentials, which are provided by professional associations like the International Coach Federation and the International Association of Coaching. These require expertise and demonstrations of high work standards. Although getting these credentials may take time, once you start helping someone over a life challenge, this will be a great reward. Plus you'll build up a great client base that should give you a good living. Number 8. Body part making. I know this sounds very far out there and science fictiony, but the growth, excuse the pun, of this market is going to get bigger. It's not about growing body parts like an arm or a leg in a lab. It's about growing skin or tendons or muscle or, in technical terms, single types of tissues. There are companies doing this already and have ploughed billions into this field. So you don't do this unless you think this market is going to get big. The area is definitely worth looking into. Maybe not as a startup, but as a potential career for long-term employment. Number 9. DNA design firms. Following on with this theme, DNA testing is also a great growth industry. Basically, DNA testing leads the researcher to find diseases, etc., from the DNA of a person they are looking at. At the moment, DNA testing only reveals some diseases, but with huge investment in this field, the potential could be endless. There's a company in the USA that is trying to get DNA sequencing down to under $100 per test, which if done will explode this industry and make testing almost like getting an MOT for your car. Cheap DNA testing will give a better understanding of aging and open up new ways to cure and treat diseases. Could you imagine a time when every child is tested at birth and that test could predict the health of that child and treat it for any problems it might have now or in the future? That time is just around the corner. So again, getting into this field has huge potential for long-term career. Number 10. Pollution auditors. With the threat of global warming and the pollution getting more and more relevant, the need for auditors for emissions and polluters is only going to get bigger. Working out an individual's or business's carbon footprint and then suggesting ways of reducing this will, I think, become a legal requirement in the not too distant future. If governments around the world decide that it will need to take responsibility for their own emissions, then doing pollution audits will follow, and so will jobs. 11. 3D and holographic entertainment. Okay, so we've had 3D for quite a while, and to be honest, sticking a pair of dodgy glasses on was never going to be the best seller, but combining 3D technology and holograms is the next big thing for the entertainment industry. Whilst it is a little way off of what we see in the movies, we will get close to proper holograms in our home in the next decade. Companies are already looking at the technology for real-time holographic presence in meetings, and it already exists for a number of people in different parts of the world to appear on stage together in real time. How far could this go? Who knows? Full-length feature films where the audience is in the middle of the action maybe? What we do know is this technology is not going away. Number 12. Marijuana grower. Okay, hang on a moment. I'm not getting you all to turn into Pablo Escobar here, but at the time of making this video in the UK, a family has just won a case to allow them to purchase marijuana for medical reasons for their son's epilepsy. Whilst there are obviously very tight regulations around the growing and selling of this drug, there will be opportunities for those doing it correctly to make good money. The idea is built on the legislation of drugs, and although in a lot of countries it is still illegal to grow and sell, from all the indications and from what we've read, this could soon change for medical purposes. Please don't go out there and start growing because you've heard it here. Check out where you live, ask the questions, could we grow it and sell for medical reasons. Sooner or later this will happen. 13. Aquaponics farming. This is one that I'm very interested in as we do it on our small holding here. We have just 24 square metres of grow area in one polytunnel, but it's enough to feed a family of 4. Plus we have a smaller system where we grow chilies. Not only is it environmentally friendly, as we don't use chemicals in the growing, but also the yield in anything we grow is more than conventional growing, as the season lasts longer with this method. Unlike hydroponics, which has to add chemicals into the system to help grow, in aquaponics we use fish. It's their waste that has all the nutrients in we need to make the plants grow. Plus, we have fish to eat as well. We love this way of growing and we never buy any vegetables from the supermarket. Not only are we saving loads of money, but we also know exactly where our food is coming from. Our system is considered quite small. I've seen aquaponics used on a huge scale that produce all types of crop to sell commercially all year round. With people wanting to know the provenance of their food, they also want to know it's grown ethically and with a low carbon footprint. Not only should you consider aquaponics for home, but also for commercial reasons as well. If there is some interest in this area, I'm happy to do a short video explaining how to set up an aquaponics system. 14. Meat grower. So we've looked at growing vegetables in a non-conventional way. What about meat? Can you imagine growing meat in the lab? It's being tested at the moment, but we are still a few years off seeing a lab-produced meat on our supermarket shelves for us to buy. Again, thinking of the environment, one cow can consume 11,000 gallons of water every year. Livestock may be responsible for 15% of greenhouse gas emissions, and people are starting to ask for an alternative. Cultured tissues offer a way to potentially grow many meals worth of meat from just a handful of cells. Under the right conditions in a lab, cells can be encouraged to divide just like they do inside the body, cutting down on natural resources, gases, etc. Whilst this is still in its early stages, keep an eye out for more produce grown this way. 15. Robotics mechanic. There are thousands of robots in operation right now across the world. From cutting of grass and hoovering a dirty room to robots being used to blow up improvised explosive devices in war-torn countries. There's an estimated 13 million robots in the world already, and this is only going to grow rapidly. Most are in the workplace, but personal robots are also on the increase. So who's going to fix these when they go wrong? Could you? If you have the aptitude for electronics and computing, then this could be an area for you to move into. I can see in a few short years, just like you'd call a plumber to fix a leak, we will be phoning a robotics engineer to sort out a problem with a personal robot. That's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it, and don't forget to look out for the next one in this series. Please remember to subscribe and click on the bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes out. Good luck with earning money, guys, and remember you can have results or excuses, but you can't have both.